Fatigue is one of the most common complaints today. Millions of people wake up tired, push through the day foggy and unmotivated, and go to bed feeling like they've accomplished very little, only to repeat the cycle again and again. Most people assume it's their sleep, their diet, their workload, or maybe even just getting older. And while those factors can contribute, there's a far more overlooked and underappreciated reason for low energy, a deficiency in vitamin D. And despite being called a vitamin, vitamin D actually functions more like a hormone in the body. It regulates over 2,000 genes and plays a critical role in immune function, hormone balance, bone strength, mood regulation, and most importantly for this conversation, energy production. The connection between vitamin D and energy comes down to the mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside our cells. These mitochondria rely on vitamin D to function properly. When levels are low, they simply can't produce energy efficiently. That means your cells and you feel constantly underpowered no matter how healthy your lifestyle may seem. Low vitamin D can leave you feeling physically tired, mentally foggy, and emotionally flat. It can lead to poor immune response, frequent infections, muscle weakness, and slower recovery. It's also closely linked to depression and low motivation, particularly during the darker months of the year. Despite being easy to make, your body synthesizes it when your skin is exposed to sunlight. Vitamin D deficiency is incredibly common. In fact, it's estimated that over 40% of adults in the US have suboptimal or deficient levels of vitamin D, and that number climbs even higher among people with darker skin tones, those who live in northern latitudes, or individuals who spend most of their day indoors. Sun exposure is the most natural way to produce vitamin D. When ultraviolet B, UVB, rays from the sun hit your skin, your body converts cholesterol into vitamin D3. But in modern life, this process is often blocked. Sunscreen, while protective, inhibits vitamin D production. Windows filter out UVB rays, meaning you don't make vitamin D through glass. Cloudy days, winter months, and long work hours indoors all add up to one thing: minimal sun exposure. Even if you live in a sunny place, chances are you're not getting the consistent, direct skin exposure your body needs to keep levels optimal. There are a few signs that your vitamin D levels may be low. These include fatigue, muscle weakness, frequent illness, bone or joint pain, brain fog, low mood, and even difficulty losing weight. If several of these apply to you, quite especially if they get worse in the winter, there's a strong chance vitamin D is part of the problem. The only way to know for sure is through a blood test called 25-hydroxy vitamin D, or 25 open parenthesis OH close parenthesis D. In conventional medicine, levels above 30 nanograms per milliliter are considered adequate. But in functional medicine, optimal levels for energy, immune health, and mood are generally between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. If you test below 30 nanograms per milliliter, you're deficient. If you're in the 30 to 40 range, you're probably underfunctioning. And if you're between 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter, you're likely to feel and function at your best. Once you know your levels, the solution is simple: increase your intake and exposure. Start with sensible sun exposure, 15 to 30 minutes of sunlight on bare skin, arms, legs, face, several times a week without sunscreen. Midday sun is most effective, as UVB rays are strongest then. If you're fair-skinned, start with shorter exposure and build up to avoid burning. If you have darker skin, you may need more time in the sun to produce the same amount of vitamin D. Along with sun, some foods contain small amounts of vitamin D. These include wild-caught salmon, sardines, egg yolks, and cod liver oil. While helpful, food alone usually isn't enough to correct a deficiency. That's where supplementation comes in. Vitamin D3, also known as cholecalciferol, is the preferred form for correcting low levels. A general maintenance dose is around 1,000 to 2,000 IU per day for most people. But if you're deficient, you may need a temporary dose of 5,000 to 10,000 IU daily under supervision to bring your levels up more quickly. It's important to take vitamin D with a fat-containing meal since it's a fat-soluble vitamin. And for best results, pair it with vitamin K2. This helps direct calcium into your bones and away from soft tissues like your arteries. D3 and K2 work together synergistically and are often combined in high quality supplements. If you start supplementing, it's wise to recheck your blood levels after 8 to 12 weeks. Everyone responds differently, and you want to avoid overcorrecting. Too much vitamin D can cause calcium imbalances and create other issues. So smart dosing and retesting is key. Once your vitamin D reaches an optimal range, many people report noticeable changes. They have more sustained daytime energy, better sleep at night, fewer colds, sharper thinking, improved mood, and a general sense of well-being they didn't even realize they were missing. Sometimes it's not about adding more caffeine or more sleep. It's about restoring something fundamental your body needed all along. Vitamin D might not be the flashiest nutrient, but it's foundational. It's a master regulator, and when it's dialed in, everything else runs more smoothly, including your energy. If you've been chasing solutions to your fatigue, your low mood, or your slow immune response, vitamin D may be the simplest and most overlooked fix, and it doesn't require an expensive protocol. Sometimes it's as simple as stepping outside, turning your face toward the sun, and letting your body do what it was designed to do.